Hello friends, I'm happy to see you again on our YouTube channel CAS.AI. This is Zoriana Omelchuk, CMO of CAS.AI. Today I suggest we talk about the AppLovin network, specifically Axon, and about user acquisition campaigns there. So what have they altered? How do you launch ad campaigns? What kind of budget do you need? Today we'll break it down in more detail.
If you want to scale your operations up and get your work published, please go to the CAS.AI website and complete and submit the publishing form. If you just want to simply monetize your game, go to the CAS.AI website and complete and submit the mediation form.
But first, I want to share some important news with you. Those of you who have already worked with AppLovin in the past know that previously you could only launch ROAS campaigns on the AppLovin network if you were using AppLovin Max as your mediation platform, and only then were you actually able to run those ROAS campaigns. Now the situation has changed, and it has changed on our side because CAS.AI has come up with a solution. If you use CAS.AI as your mediator, you can launch ROAS-type ad campaigns on AppLovin, specifically on Axon. So what's changed? Just a couple of months ago, they updated the new dashboard. Those who use the old one probably already know this. You've joined the new dashboard. It has updated not only its visual features, but also its algorithm according to AppLovin itself for user acquisition campaigns. They have refined their internal algorithm, making it far more efficient and effective at finding your key players for your games and enhancing overall performance. Previously, it was possible to launch advertising campaigns with a very large budget. Well, maybe not so large for some, but for smaller studios and single games that wanted to try launching new ad campaigns with a small budget, it was nearly impossible to achieve. This was because the minimum campaign budget you could set was $500 as a fixed daily budget. And you've probably encountered situations where when you set up a campaign and set that minimum budget of $500, you experienced overspending. Sometimes the CPI would go out of bounds, the learning phase would take a long time, and you would exceed your monthly or weekly budget. And to train the algorithm and optimize ROAS campaigns specifically on this network, it used to take about 3 or more weeks, according to AppLovin themselves. Now the situation has changed. In the new dashboard, they've added a feature, which I'll show you a bit later, along with some screenshots, and I'll demonstrate how it works. But now there's a convenient option to set up campaigns that allow you to effectively minimize this budget. And I'll also add a little life hack from myself. When you add this network, you really need to keep a few important facts and specific nuances in mind. AppLovin is an advertising network that actively focuses on gathering user data, and this greatly helps their algorithm learn much faster. That is exactly why within your MMP you should configure your settings to share detailed information and share users who came from other paid sources and from organic traffic. This ensures that the algorithm itself knows and understands which specific users are the target users for your game, and accordingly it selects them for you. That's one. Furthermore, based on our professional experience and the detailed feedback from my colleagues who actively manage ad campaigns there, you likely already know that playable creatives perform especially well. Speaking purely from our experience, we tried single standalone playables, but for our type of games, videos, and interactive end cards, which are short playables attached to the video, work best. This type of ad format works very well for this network. Additionally, it is also important to remember that when you set up your ad campaign, you can specifically choose and select the countries you want to bid on. Assign a separate budget for each country and establish a specific individual ROAS target. What's the best practice for launching ad campaigns specifically on this network? It's to launch campaigns that are almost worldwide. Of course, if you happen to have non-target tier 3 countries such as Vietnam, Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh in your list, it is much better to either remove them entirely from your current ad campaign or set a significantly higher ROAS target for them. For example, if your target ROAS on day 0 is 50%, then for tier 3 countries it's better to set it at 80 or even 100 sometimes, so that the system still delivers impressions to them, gathers data, and learns from them as well to boost traffic, but you don't end up paying for irrelevant installs. But as practice shows, you can launch tier 1 countries, add European countries, and also include English-speaking tier 3 countries, such as the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. They help the system learn faster The user quality there is much lower, but if you set them a higher ROAS, there's every chance that these countries won't run at a loss for you, and you'll even be able to buy traffic at a small profit. Let me share my dashboard with you and together we'll go through it and take a look at what is fresh and new there besides the visuals. So let's take a look at one of the advertising campaigns we have running right now. Everything is standard just like before. Here we select the optimization types for the ad campaigns. First, consider what goal type you have. You have the flexibility to run various types of ad campaigns. For instance, you can launch a pure ROAS campaign that will bid only on in-app actions if your optimization type is set strictly to in-app. If you have ads, you can run ROAS for ads, or you can run it for any other event. Be very careful with this setting because you need to choose exactly the event that happens very frequently within your game. You have a sufficient number of users who regularly complete this specific event so that the network can receive enough events and comprehensively understand which types of users are more relevant for you. You can run regular CPI campaigns, CPP and ROAS blended. Blended campaigns are the type of campaign that allows you to combine revenue from ads and from in-app purchases. If your target action is not an install but specifically ROAS, you can calculate the ROAS you have for your game by factoring in both ad revenue and in-app purchases. Just be careful and don't forget about the store commission fees. Here, it's better to calculate it yourself and either pass it along or calculate the net ROAS. What's interesting here, we can bid on the 7th or the 28th day. It's very interesting. If anyone has tried this and their game's retention allows them to launch on the 28th day, please share in the comments how this type of optimization is working for you. We haven't launched this ourselves yet since, as you know, we have casual and hyper-casual games, and unfortunately, the day 28 retention there isn't high enough to run this type of campaign. But if your game's payback period is 6 months or more, you probably have a higher ROAS and you can look into and calculate which type of optimization is more relevant and suitable for you. And as I mentioned before, you can set a single goal. For example, a specific target of 50% on a certain day for all the countries you've selected, or you can break the data down further and make selections by region. Here, ours is set higher because we're bidding on day 0. But there are certain types of marketing campaigns where we can make adjustments based on what the target ROAS is for each country. Since I am currently showing you the specific campaign setup right now, my chosen bid strategy is already selected here and you can see it is displayed in a light gray color. When setting up a campaign from scratch, you'll have 2 options here. You can choose bidding by CPI or by CPM. And when you go ahead and choose the second option, you can set a budget that is lower than what was previously required in the old AppLovin dashboard I mentioned to you, $500. You can set it even lower. And here, there is also a checkbox that gives you the option to set a specific daily budget for each individual country. We use this feature very often as well. For example, if we want to give you a rough estimate, 80% of the traffic from the US, but we also want to add a broader worldwide audience or some European countries to this ad campaign so that the campaign can begin to optimize and learn much faster. We can set a budget of, say, $300 for the US, and for other geos set $20, $30 or $50 each, with the specific goal of boosting the country that is more targeted for you. Also, I want to go back now and show you the creatives. We can take a look at all of them right here in this section. Here are the creatives. There are static images and banners. They also updated the visual elements. But, as I mentioned before, utilizing a diverse mix of creatives tend to perform significantly better for us. You can add them, test them, and optimize them. From what we have already launched and from the retesting of several ad campaigns that we did using the new dashboard, we can see that AppLovin has indeed improved. It works with CAS.AI mediation, and we are transferring all revenue to the new Axon dashboard. This way, the algorithm learns faster. Typically, on average, it takes about 7 to 10 full working days for an ad campaign to learn and start gradually turning a consistent profit. Naturally, on the 3rd to 5th day, your traffic will still be below the KPI you set for yourself, but nevertheless, in practice, you can work with this and the ad campaigns really do learn. That's all from me. I hope you found this helpful. I was glad to tell you about the new dashboard. Subscribe and join us in publishing. We'll be happy to see you and work with you. Thanks.
Be sure to subscribe to the CAS.AI channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss monetization strategies and case studies from the world of mobile games.